What is up, my beer bros? Beer Maniac here with not an NBA video, although you do see an NBA background. I do apologize for that. But the NHL playoffs are about to start. The brackets are finished. We have a very, very good slate on. We have, I know I'm taking my breath here, but we have some amazing matchups in almost every conference. Maybe one not so exciting, but that's just personal preference here. First matchup we're going to go over right now are the Tampa Bay Lightning at the Blue Jackets. This is going to be a great game. This is the one that I don't find too exciting. The Lightning have been way too dominant here. Although the Blue Jackets might realistically steal at least one game, I don't think they do. I think it's going to be a 4-game sweep by the Lightning. First game is Wednesday, April 10th. For those of you interested in watching, it is on the USA Network at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the matchup that I'm most excited for, the Bruins at the Maple Leafs. It's going to be a good one. This first game's on Thursday, April 11th. So, it's going to be interesting here. All these games are broadcasted on NBCSN or the NBC Sports Network, CBC, TVAS, depending on what your subscriptions are for TV. I know mine I have to watch on NESN most of the time. Bruins, technically with a home ice, if you want to call it that. Maple Leafs, very tough team this year, very solid. This rivalry is one of the best rivalries in hockey, in my opinion, just because there's so much there's not like bad blood like spewing all over the place, but there's respect, there's bad blood, there's hate, there's just a bunch of emotions in this one, and I love it. Being a Boston Bruins fan myself, I'm not going to let that interrupt with my predictions. I'm going to go Boston here, but in 6. I think Boston winning in Toronto is going to be very, very hard for them, but with at least 3 games in Boston before this, I think they win those, and I think the third game in Toronto they can take out. It's going to be a good series, though. And they have the Capitals at the Hurricanes. Oh, this one should be good. I'm hopeful for the Hurricanes, but I'm going to pick the Capitals at 5. I think the offensive firepower for the Capitals should carry them over this one, but I think the games will be relatively close. In this series, I'm not expecting too many blowouts. I think Ovechkin doing his standard thing, the Washington starting front line, should hold up. There might be 2 or 3 overtime games in this series. I think it's going to be in 5 games, but like I said, I think they're all going to be close. I think they're all going to be decided by at most 2 goals, with maybe 4 of the 5 games being decided by only 1. It should be good. Carolina, very, very good candidate for an upset. And you have the Islanders at the Penguins. This is, I guess, my first technical upset seeding-wise, although not really. I'm going Penguins here. Pittsburgh, it's hard to go against Crosby, but the Islanders are a very solid team, although honestly, I don't know a lot about hockey, so I do apologize if I get some information wrong. Although the Pittsburgh Penguins do look more vulnerable this season than they have in most of their previous playoff seasons since Sidney Crosby joined, I do think they can overcome the New York Islanders. But stipulation here being the Islanders being a very tough team. I think it's going to be a tough out. No matter who wins this series, I think it's going to be 7 games being, of course, I'm picking Pittsburgh, but still, I think this one's going to be a 7-game series. It is going to be interesting. This one's also starting on April 10th, and the Capitals series is starting on April 11th. I forgot to mention that. And then in the West, you have the Predators at the Stars, or Predators hosting the Stars in the first round. Gonna be very, very interesting here. Predators should have the distinct advantage, but the Stars, I think, will pull off a couple of upsets. This game starting April 10th, the series starting at April 10th as well, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on USA Network, as part of a very good doubleheader. Stars, I think, do steal the first 2 games in Dallas. I think this game's going to be a 6-game series. Well, technically, no, you know what? Take that back. I think the Stars steal at least 1 game in Nashville, and they push it to 6 games. I think Nashville will have. This is a tough matchup for Nashville. Although I say they're going to win 6, I think they're going to have a couple of the wins going to be pretty marginal wins, like pretty good. 3 goals average probably for the biggest wins. Should be good, but I don't expect too much from the Stars. No offense. Then you have the Jets at the Blues. This one's really tough for me to predict just because I think these teams are very balanced. Game 1's April 10th, 8 p.m. on the NHL Network, if you have that. Winnipeg Jets, although they have been a very capable team this year, I think they will be beat in 5 by the Blues, mainly because in this bracket, I kind of want to pick upsets, at least ones. So I'm going to pick the Blues to upset the Jets in 5, mainly because I don't think anybody would see that coming. And I think it's going to be a closer series than most would think. And you got the Flames at the Avalanche. I think the Avalanche win this one in 7 games. Although the Flames did earn a number 1 seed, I think the Avalanche will be a tougher out than probably the Flames are expecting. Calgary, very solid team. I think they have what it takes to go to the finals if they stay healthy. It's going to be a good one. Then you have the Sharks at the Golden Knights. Golden Knights were in the finals last year. Very good team last year. Not as good this year, but still not the worst. And sometimes that's what matters. Sharks, San Jose, they've been due for a good playoff run for a long time. And by good, I mean a deep playoff run. I think this one's going to be close. I'm going to pick the Sharks in 6. Should be interesting. Now, I believe that would pit the Tampa Bay Lightning against the Boston Bruins in the second round. With that, I would have to pick the Lightning in 6. As much as I'm a Bruins fan, Lightning are just the better team. And then that would pick a rematch of last year's playoffs with the Capitals hosting the Penguins. I would have to pick the Penguins in 7 in that one. I should think it should be a close series. I love the Ovechkin-Sidney Crosby matchups. Those are always fun. Rounding out the East, that would be the Tampa Bay Lightning at the Pittsburgh Penguins. Lightning, I think, would win that one in 5, going to the NHL Finals. And then on the West, you would have the Predators versus the Blues, which I'd have to go Preds there in 6. It should be a close one in there. And then you would have Calgary versus the San Jose Sharks. I'd have to go Sharks there in 6 as well. I think there's going to be a lot of close series. It's going to be a really, really, really good postseason, which would mean it would be the Preds versus the Sharks in the finals of the West. I'd have to go Sharks there in 7. I think it would be a close series, which means my NHL playoff finals or finals playoffs would be the San Jose Sharks versus the Tampa Bay Lightning, with the San Jose Sharks pulling off the upset in a great finals. I think it's going to be a 7-game series with the Sharks winning. Anyway, probably a little bit crazy with that prediction, but you know what? I like to go a little bit crazy. And reasoning behind not picking my Boston Bruins to make it past the Lightning is I just think the Lightning are way too good. Granted, Boston might put up a fight, but hey, it would be an upset. Even I have to admit that. Anyway, guys, hope you have a good day. Let me know in the comment section down below who you think would win in each NHL playoff, and it would be nice just to hear your opinion. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.